Strategy, technology, demos, and stories from Adobe Consulting. This is the Experience Lab Podcast. Welcome back to the Experience Lab Podcast. Today's episode is about one thing, and that is empowering your people to stop guessing and start making decisions with data. When I was with a major Canadian e-commerce retailer, we were drowning in analytics requests. But the deeper problem really wasn't bandwidth, it was this. Every team was making gut calls and in some ways hoping for the best. So we did something about it. We built a program called Analytics Rockstars, and it worked. And in today's episode, I'll tell you how we did it. So here's the reality that most companies don't like to admit. People are guessing a lot. They're launching campaigns without knowing what worked last time. They're optimizing landing pages based on opinion. And they're reporting on success without a common definition of what that even means. Meanwhile, the central analytics team is often underwater. They're trying to support everyone, but they're moving too slowly to keep up. So in my case, what we did was we flipped the model. We went to each e-commerce department and we said, give us one person, someone curious, someone data-minded, someone who's in Excel all the time, who's not afraid of asking dumb questions, and let's make them your analytics rock star. And so what we did was we took those folks and we trained them. We trained them just enough to pull basic reports, use existing dashboards and templates that we built, ask better questions, and pull them out of the gut feel mode so that they could then bring that back to their team. What we did was we got them together every other Friday, and I think we went down to monthly eventually, but we started with every other Friday, and we did a lunch and learn. So bring your lunch, come sit in the boardroom, no slides, no judgment, just open discussion. What are you trying to solve? What was working for you last week? What's confusing now? People would share reports that they built. We would share reports or new features or things that they needed to know. And it wasn't just a training program, it was kind of a culture shift. We built a little community in that room. And I think one of the reasons why this worked is because it started from a place of honesty. We didn't pretend that we were building mini analysts. We weren't asking people to master SQL or build a predictive model or something. We were just asking them to stop making stuff up. And when people had access to data and basic tools and a support system, we found that they started answering their own questions. And then when they couldn't, we were still there. The analytics team was still there to support the business, but we allowed them to be a little bit more self-serving. And what this did was it changed the tone of how data was used across the business. Analytics stopped being like a service desk, and it started turning into a conversation. So, a couple key takeaways for you. The first being stop guessing, right? That's our mission here. Our mission is to have a data-driven model. And our mission is to use what our customers are telling us with their actions as our source of truth. And then it's important to empower the right people in each team, because as much as you want to hire more and scale your analytics team, the people that are embedded in those teams are already there. They've already got the relationships. They're already working with their coworkers. And so why not attack the problem from the inside, if you will? And at the beginning in particular, you want to give them enough capability to be self-serving without going too rogue. And over time, you'll start to find those who are really getting into it, really enjoying it, want to get more advanced, and you can give them some special time and attention to develop some more advanced analytics users in certain areas of the company. It's not going to happen with all of them, but you'll probably find a few that stand out, which is actually really nice when it comes to hiring to expand your team later. In one case, we actually hired someone from one of those other teams who turned out they loved analytics and they got pretty good at it. And my next tip here is to make it social. So the Friday sessions were really where the magic happened. And like I said, we kind of built a community out of this. And it's important not to make this bureaucratic and boring and one-sided. You really need to make this a community of friends hanging out and talking about data. and sharing and getting excited about things. If you think of it as a community, not as a training program, you'll see a major difference, I promise you. And what this will hopefully do is lead to the central analytics team focusing on strategic work, not just basic asks all day long, because each team now has their person internally that they can go to. You don't need to build a massive analytics team to build a data culture. What you need ultimately is trust and tools and time to talk about what matters. And that time and attention is really the key here. If this resonates, if your teams are still flying blind, maybe it's time to start looking at your own analytics rock stars. Give your people the power to stop guessing and give your analytics team some breathing room so that they can do the deep work, particularly the executive reporting and things that they have to do every day and every week. Hey, look, thanks for listening again. Like, subscribe, all the things, and I'll see you next time on the Experience Lab podcast. This has been the Adobe Experience Lab podcast.